Hey everyone, uh, just checking out the weather. I guess I'm still sitting still. Just wanted to update everyone on what's happening here. The the weather, of course, and if you've been following this trip for any length of time, you know that weather just seems to be my adversary. It's all just kind of ironic though, because um, it's supposed to be dry. The rest of this trip was supposed to be just basically rain free. I haven't seen any real rain since I was back in Roswell, New Mexico, and this next leg of my trip is going to be probably one of the biggest challenges of this entire cross-country trip. Um, I've got about 90 miles to go between here and the next really big town, and it's not 90 miles between supplies and food stops, but it's a lot of desert crossings, and it's been raining out there in the desert, and it's not like when it rains back home. The desert fills up with water when it rains, so I need to not have any issues like that. Because of the long distance, I have to be able to keep moving. When I've got like 20 miles between towns and whatnot, and I fill up with water and supplies, I can goof off. In other words, I can go a day, and if I feel like sitting still for a day, I've got enough supplies where I can sit still, camp, whatever, and then move and take my time and dilly-dally. But when there's a long stretch of nothing, and I have to make my supplies work, and so I can't slow down, I can't go slow, I have to keep moving. And if I get out in the desert and there's some flash flooding, or there's areas that are filled up with water that I can't get through, then it's going to slow me down, and then I'm going to run out of water and supplies. So I need to make sure that the weather's good and everything's good. Make sure mentally is the biggest thing. I think a lot of people don't realize, maybe they do, I don't know. Physically, I mean, even now I'm in better shape than I've been in a lot of years, but I'm not pro athlete in shape, but mentally is as much or more than physical when you're doing this. I mean, it's easy to get mentally defeated really fast. So when I set out on this next leg of my trip, I have to be on top of my game. I have to be mentally, I have to want to kill it. And I'm not there right now at the moment. And I sit and I obsess over the weather maps. I watch the Doppler radar a lot, and when I see the big green blobs going out over the desert, I get discouraged. And also, I've been blessed because thank you, Kathy, for fixing me up with a room. So I mean, I've got a roof over my head, but sitting still in a town costs money. I have to eat, and then it's just every time I go up and get a cup of coffee, it's $2. Can you believe coffee's $2? So it's that, and otherwise it's just sitting still. And I don't like sitting, because when you sit still for a long time, then you start getting lazy. Again, the mental thing. When I'm stuck in a town, I'll do a lot of walking, because again, you lay around and your muscles start tightening up and all that. So I like the rest, I enjoy the rest, but at the same time it's counterproductive to what I'm doing. So as soon as the weather breaks out over the desert, I'm going to be heading out again. And after I get to the next big town, then it's going to get a lot easier, because I'll be paralleling I-10 right into Los Angeles. And see how I said that? Los Angeles. But then, I'm back to the 10, 12, 15 mile stretches in between checkpoints. And, as I get closer to the Riverside, San Bernardino area, then it's, then I get into start hitting more urban areas, and I don't have to worry about supplies and food and whatnot. So, but this next stretch is going to be the tough one, the biggie, and I've been kind of dreading it the whole trip. I knew I was going to have to do it at one fashion or another. So the good thing is it's near the highway, so if I do run into trouble, I can get out on the interstate and flag somebody down, but I don't anticipate that. And it's really just a matter of once I leave here and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I have to keep moving. And if there's bad weather or these storms move in while I'm out there, then I'm kind of screwed. Because I don't have time to deal with storms, I have to keep moving. But beyond that, everything else is going all right. I feel good, healthy-wise. I've had my struggles this whole trip. I've got, things that I deal with, physically that I have to live with, and I've been handling that and, doing my thing. I really, really, really appreciate all the interest and support that I get. It's great, being on the road and then stopping somewhere and plugging in the laptop and getting on, and you see all the likes and all the comments, and people message me and email me, and it's just a big ego booster. It really does help. As much as any of the donations, contributions do, it's just words do so much more. It's nice that people care, people are interested. I never thought anyone would be interested in this trip. And it's almost over, and I can't believe how many people are interested and have been following me along on it and whatnot. So right now it's only in the 60s outside. It's nice and cool. Great walking weather, man. You can't believe it. I love the cool weather. I walked the entire winter. I remember the first time it was cold, I was in Alabama, and I had cleared Birmingham, I think it was. Yeah, Birmingham. Maybe it was. I was in a place called Jasper, Alabama. I got caught in some rain overnight, and I remember getting to a Love's travel stop about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was 55 degrees out. Not really cold when you consider hard winters, but that's the first time I felt cold temperatures on this trip, and I was soaking wet, and I remember thinking, God, it's going to be winter soon, and then I got up to Decatur, Alabama, and it was down in the 20s, and I was in my little tent. Well, I was actually in my new tent that Paul had bought me, and I was just laying there like I didn't really have good winter gear. I was wrapped up pretty well, but I was laying there in the tent and just thinking, man, how am I going to survive this entire winter? And then I got up north of Decatur and started heading west out of Decatur towards Mississippi, and it got down in the teens, and there was just blazing cold wind, and so 65 degrees like it is right now, nice. I like it. So I walked a couple times at night. I remember walking through Tennessee at night. It was in the 20s, and the highway that I was on was really awesome. Had good walking conditions, and I set out at night. I slept most of the day, and left McDonald's around 10 o'clock at night, and started heading west, and it was like in the 20s, but you got the pack and everything on, and you don't feel that. You warm up really fast, and it was awesome, man. It was just the cold didn't matter, so I don't mind the chilly. I mind the rain though. The rain is what gets you, because if you're wet and you're cold, then you're screwed. So, anyhow, I just wanted to touch bases, let everybody know what's going on. So, I'm watching the Doppler on the computer, and maybe I'll leave tomorrow. No later than Saturday, I hope. As long as there's green blobs out over the desert, I can't move. I have to make sure everything is dry out there, and that there's nothing else moving in. And then mentally, I have to be like, okay, got everything ready. This is it. Gotta go. And that's going to be the challenge. And once I get to the other side, my next stop, then I'm probably going to be Adrenaline City at that point, because that's the home stretch, man. That's it. It's you know, less than 200 miles, and to Santa Monica, and a lot of urban, a lot of, you know, town type stuff along the interstate, and that's the home stretch. Anyway, I will just want to update everybody. I appreciate all your support and everything, and I will catch all of you cats later.